First of all, I gotta give a shout out to Triple TRO, known as POVARR2 or POVAR2 here on YouTube. Because, I support them on the Patreon, every month. And they uploaded a clip because what they do every few weeks is they upload different 11, 12 page updates to the stories that they're working on. And they recently uploaded the newest chapters to Pink Benefits, which is pretty good. It's focusing more on Emily right now and what she's going to do. But also what they did is they uploaded something else, and it was an animation. Now, they've been known to test the animation limits here and there. Like some of the pages will be like little, GIFs, GIFs, if you will, transitions of Emily or Betty, shape-shifting from one form to another, human-wise. But here, this was like a full-blown animation, and he uploaded this, and he even asked the question, possible PB, Pink Benefits movie coming, which, got a lot of people excited because, it's like, oh, this is, potentially a nice step to go in. And even I said, hey, the only tricky part will be if you ever do the gooiness and meltiness that her and Betty are known to do once in a while in the story. But then today, he uploaded another one, and it was a little scene that he put together for or from Anything You Want, one of his other shape-shifting series, and it looked really good. And the way he did this, because if you look in the upper right-hand corner, and there's a name there that says Luma, Luma, Luma. And I looked it up, and it's basically called the Luma Dream Machine. It's one of those AI softwares or online softwares that you can use, just like several others. But because this is more focused on, let's say, creating animation, like that one site that's been talked about, animation, potential movies, shows, whatever. The reason, due to the fact that it's, focused more on that, it does give you a free tier. It does give you like the free account. But unfortunately, it limits you. To, depending on how high the demand is in at times throughout the week and certain days, it will limit you from potentially 5 generational, I guess you could say uploads of creations, AI stuff, to 20 at most, maybe even 30, mostly the limit is 30, but if it's a high demand, they have to limit you to 5 to maybe 20 at most instead of 30. But they do, because like I said, this is an animation-based focused AI, it does have payment options. And some of these payment options are, well, if you have the money, can be reasonable, if not reasonable. The cheapest one they have is the $30 a month one or $24 a month one. The reason I say it's 29 or 24 is, it's not 29. It's $30. It's $29.99, $29.99, and the other one is $23.99. And the reason I say both of those price points is because one, the $23.99, the $23.99 one, the $23.99 one is yearly. So that's basically like you pay $200 or whatever. And then the other one is mostly monthly, which is the $30 one. The other ones they do have is, I think there's one in the 70s, one is $77.99, and monthly, and then I think it's less, yearly. And then the more expensive one is mainly like 500. I wouldn't say 500. I'd say about maybe 400 a month, 400 yearly, 400 on the yearly part, and then 499 monthly. So yeah, they're not very cheap. I put it that way. If you have the money, they are, but not really. And the way you need to plan this out, especially let's say you are on, let's say unemployment. The way you have to plan this out is to, if you want to get one of the tiers, is you have to focus it on a week that you're going to get a payment, for every month. So for me, if I want to get, let's say, the $30 one, then I have to focus, getting it on a week. Like next week, I get my unemployment for the 2 weeks. So what I'd have to do is focus then on getting it, so that way, anytime the upcoming weeks fall around the 14th, or the 14th falls on that week, I can have the money saved up in there to basically get subtracted to use the system or use the software. Because apparently, when you go the payment route, you don't have to wait as long. You get a high priority, if you know what I mean. With the $23.99 one or $29.99 one, you get a high priority, but not the highest. But if you go into the, like I said, the around $78 one or $76 one, depending, like I said, if you go yearly or monthly, you get highest priority. You get highest priority. And the same goes for the more expensive one. You get highest priority. So the only difference between those three sets, between these four sets, I should say, is if you're doing it free, you're going to have to wait. And that's usually very critical in a lot of folks' minds, because it's like, it could take a while. When I first started using this, it didn't take too long, to like the longest, maybe like several hours, and that was it. But the ones I did yesterday took almost a whole day. Now, that's the one thing about these kind of systems, that if you want to do it for free, you got to have patience. You got to have patience, because I think the more complicated the prompt that you give it, and enhanced as you give it, if you will, the more, I guess you could say, more emphasis, more, describe-wise that you give it, it's going to take a while. And even with the option of adding pictures in there, because again, one of the main focus of this is, if not the main focus, is animation. So what people do, like let's say Trouble TRO did, is you could take two scenes, that go back to back with each other, or at least kind of connect to each other, and say, hey, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. And those images get basically, through Luma, get animated together into a movie, into like a little movie right there. So, so that's basically what Trouble TRO was teasing. Like, hey, maybe I might be doing this soon, but we'll see. It all takes money and everything to make happen. And of course, it takes people that, to come in and voice it, or you could just do it silent and, have the little speech bubbles instead. But yeah, if you're doing it free, because you can't afford it right now, then you have to have patience. But even when you go the high priority, like I said, the $29.99, $23.99 deal, you gotta also have a little patience, because even though you get a high priority, you're not at the highest. You're not like, hey, this person has to be done right here and now. No, you are basically at a situation to where you got to say, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I'm going to get priority, and more so than I do it free, but it might still take a bit longer. It may not take all day. It might take like a half hour, maybe a few minutes. But but you got to have patience with that too. The highest ones, apparently you don't have to wait too long, but again, that might still be, a lesson in patience as well, because again, if they got a high demand going on right now, I don't blame, I'm not blaming anybody for being impatient, but you got to understand, this is something that fans have been wanting this and that other site people are talking about that do something similar. The other one mainly, being known for actually helping to create shows and stuff that could get potentially, picked up by outlets like Netflix or whatever. What people have to understand is this is something that a lot of people with imaginative, creative minds have been waiting for. They've been waiting for this kind of a moment for a long time. They've been waiting for the opportunity to showcase to the world and show Hollywood, of all places, hey, we as regular people have some creative ideas. They might be a little weird, might be a little silly, goofy, if you will, but we have some creative ideas, and here's a visual animated, example of that. So this is why, again, you have all these other places like Luma and the other one that's known for doing the same things, but mostly known for trying to get people's shows off the ground and all that. This is why they have such a high demand and why it takes a while for the projects to get rendered or created, because it's mainly because they're new and a lot of people have been waiting for this. And over time, these systems will go through a lot of maintenance changes, maintenance updates will, get faster processors and software, added to them, so they can be upgraded, updated to provide, even for the free tiers, faster service. But yeah, you just got to be patient with this stuff, whether you're paying for it or not. You just got to be patient because, again, this is something that is new and fans have been waiting for this. Whether you like AI or you don't, if you look at something like Mr. Internet Man, he has his Demonica Mystic Makeover series, someone like himself or me or whatever could take two images that go back to each other, put them together, and they could become something, animated, something real, that even he would be like, oh, shoot, maybe there's a future here for this. Because who wouldn't want to see the Mystic Makeover series animated? Who wouldn't want to see, the Melting Me Eye series animated? You know what I'm saying? That Melting Me Eye, which is the Melting May series that Desi Arts does. Who won't want to see that animated? I'm just saying. So, anyway, I do recommend checking this out. If you can't afford it, I would say go with the free one. If you have a Google account, that's an easy way to get in. But like I said, I would suggest just going with the free one for right now if you can afford it, and just having patience. That's all I'm going to say. Just have patience, and that's it. And also, if you can afford at least, the $23 one or $29 one, whether it's yearly or monthly that you're going to go with, again, it might give you a higher priority, but still you can have to have patience. The benefit with the paid ones, though, is you're not limited. That's the one thing. With the free one, you are. So for me, I might try the paid one when I get paid this upcoming week, maybe. Of course, the reason I would do it this month is because I get my YouTube payment a week from Sunday, a week from Sunday and Monday, a week from this upcoming Sunday and Monday, I get my YouTube payment. So, so I'll be okay. But, this is something I could try out and see how it works and maybe go from there. And if it, becomes too much for me to afford, like if I can't do it, I'll just cancel it, like a lot of people would. But again, my suggestion, if you can't afford it, just go with the free one. Just have patience. If you can't afford at least the $29.99 one, which is monthly, or the $23.99 one, which is yearly, which basically is $250 I think you get billed right away with, then I would suggest going with that one. The $29.99 one, you get paid monthly, or you get charged monthly. That's all you get charged, just like a monthly subscription. But if you go yearly, you're going to get charged $257. So I would suggest going with near $30 one, so that way you don't lose too much money. But anyway, my suggestion again, check it out. If you can't afford it, go with the free tier. If you can't afford at least the cheaper one, which is the high priority, go with that. But again, even with that, have patience. The only difference between the free and the other tiers, the paid ones, is you get unlimited opportunities. You don't get limited or anything like that. But if you do, get limited, it's because of the high demand, because this is a new service, just like those other services out there that people have been waiting on. So it's all about patience there. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. So far from what I've been able to see and use, it's good. It's actually pretty good. So let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere. If you haven't already, comment, like I said, comment down below. Check out my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also, check out the links in the description along with the link to my Teespring store. It helps out a lot, guys. And until then, also subscribe and like the channel. Again, it helps me out with YouTube's algorithm and all that. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.